The Seiko SKX has been regarded as one of the most iconic divers on the market since its release in 1996. But as time has gone on, skeptics have come to question this 43mm's extraordinary reputation. And with good reason. I mean, Seiko hasn't made any changes to the SKX in over 2 decades. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Guys, this channel is officially 1 year old, and I want to thank each and every one of you that's watching right now because I couldn't have done any of this without you, and it's because of you that I am right here, right now, filming this episode, so thank you so much. It means a ton. And I just wanted to say that right before I started filming, we broke past 37,000 subscribers, so thank you so much. That is huge. So today we're going to be talking about the Seiko SKX, this one being my personal Seiko SKX007. Now, one of the things I hear regularly often in the comment section of my own videos is that the Seiko SKX is a bit overrated. So for now, I'm going to be putting my own opinions aside. I know, very difficult. And we're gonna be kind of looking at some of the complaints about the Seiko SKX. Now guys, this is gonna blow your mind. I kind of understand where people are coming from. Like really, I don't think for the most part people are crazy for saying what they say about the Seiko SKX. So first, we're going to be looking at some of the cons of the SKX, and then after, we'll be going over some of the pros. And maybe we can come to some conclusion as to whether or not this watch is truly overrated. It's 4:50 p.m. Let's get down to business. Alright, well, as you can see, I'm not very excited because the time has come in this episode to go over some of the bad things about the Seiko SKX. First up, the movement is a bit outdated. I hear this one a lot, and it makes sense. I mean, the 7S26 automatic movement that's powering this watch doesn't have simple functions like hacking or hand wind, and a lot of watches in this price range, some even less expensive, have those features. Now, for those of you who don't know, hacking is where you can pull the crown all the way out and the second hand stops moving. You can use this to synchronize your watch to another watch or some other time source. Hand wind is just as it sounds. You can wind the watch up with your hand. This function is very convenient because it totally minimizes the risk of your watch stopping, even if you're not wearing it. All right, now another complaint I hear very often about the Seiko SKX is that it's lacking a sapphire crystal. Now, sapphire is very scratch resistant, and again, a lot of tool watches within this price range have sapphire crystals, and it's just kind of a bummer that this one doesn't have it. Now, the next complaint would be the hollow end links that come on the bracelet of this watch. At first, it may not be bothersome, but the more you wear it, the more those end links could deform and create kind of a rattling or a jingling, and it's just no fun, so I kind of understand the complaint there. Which brings me to the final complaint I hear very often about the Seiko SKX, and that's the misaligned chapter rings. Now, this one bothers me the most because I think it's utterly unacceptable for any company to release a watch with a misaligned chapter ring. It's such a simple fix, such an easy thing to spot, and it's just a bummer. Now, I've been very lucky. I have not encountered a single Seiko with a misaligned chapter ring, but the fact that it happens regularly enough that people can complain about it as often as they do, it's unacceptable, and it's a total bummer, and it's a huge blemish on Seiko as a company. Okay, that was not an easy thing for me to do. That was not very enjoyable, but now it's time to move on to a more enjoyable segment of this episode where I can start talking about some of the good things of the Seiko SKX. All right, so let's first address the movement, the 7S26 automatic movement. As I stated earlier, it doesn't have very many bells and whistles. It doesn't have hacking or hand wind, but it is quite reliable and robust, and it is capable of COSC standards. So for those of you who don't know, the COSC is the all-powerful governing authority on chronometer grade watches, and I have some of their criteria listed here. One of their standards is that a watch cannot deviate any more than -4 to +6 seconds within a 24-hour period. Now, my personal SKX is running consistently around +5 seconds a day, and that's well within the COSC standards, so I really can't complain about the 7S26 accuracy. All right, so now let's take a look at the crystal on this watch. So it's true, this is not sapphire. The SKX actually uses something called Hardlex, which is Seiko's proprietary crystal. Now, because Hardlex is not sapphire, people love to complain that this is going to be totally vulnerable to damage, and if you even touch it with your fingernail, it'll get scratched. Now hold your horses, okay? Let's put our nerd hats on for a moment. I already have the glasses, so there I am putting on my nerd hat. Let's take a look at the Mohs scale of mineral hardness. On that scale, Hardlex is ranked as an 8, sapphire is ranked as a 9, and the almighty diamond is a 10. So, will Hardlex scratch a bit easier than sapphire? Yes, it's true, but is it as inferior as they make it out to be? No. Another pro about the Seiko SKX is that it's very unique in design and it's in no way an homage, which is not really something you can say about most divers nowadays. Just take a look at the 4 o'clock crown with its seamlessly integrated crown guards and how they flow into those very smooth lugs. You're also getting incredibly bold indexes on the dial of the Seiko SKX. Now those indexes, the hands, and the pip are just covered with Seiko's proprietary LumiBrite loom. And guys, it's not a totally subjective statement to say that LumiBrite is better than most other looms out there. There's numerous tests that actually show LumiBrite shining more vibrantly and for a longer sustained period of time over its competitors. But speaking of which, if you don't mind, we're gonna move on to some fairly subjective statements. So in my opinion, okay, the Seiko SKX has this crazy ability to look good on almost any strap you put it on. It is crazy. Right now, I have it on this really old school military Zulu strap and it looks so cool. I honestly have not found a strap that looks bad on this watch. And in my opinion, it's one of the best watches to wear because at 43 millimeters, it's not humongous, but it retains enough size that it has good visibility in a multitude of situations. You can always easily see the dial and see the time. Another thing I absolutely love about the Seiko SKX is that it has a day date complication. Probably one of the most useful complications a watch can have because you're going to use it daily. All right guys, so hear me out. In the process of making this episode, it has forced me to think about the Seiko SKX really hard, and it's true. There have been 0 improvements made upon the Seiko SKX since 1996, over 2 decades ago. But it is also true that the Seiko SKX is a solid 200-meter diver with a remarkably rich history and a handsome design, and you can get it for under $200 all day long. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So there you have it, guys. I don't think the Seiko SKX is overrated at all. I think for its price, it's an amazing watch and every watch collector should have one in their collection, but maybe this video helped you come to a different conclusion. So leave me a comment in the comment section and I would love to hear from you. And I wanna thank you so much, guys, for spending a year with me. It's been an amazing year. Here's to a bunch more years. And I wanna thank you so much for taking me past 37,000 subscribers. Unbelievable. Thank you so much, guys. And if you're at all interested in picking up a Seiko SKX for your own collection, go ahead, click the link in the description below. I have them at the Time Teller shop, so when you shop around there and pick up a watch, it really does help the channel out a ton, so thank you so much for that. And if you're new here, you haven't subscribed yet, I want to thank you for stopping by, but go ahead, subscribe. It takes 1 second, helps me out a ton, and while you're at it, go ahead, click that little bell icon so you don't miss an episode of the Time Teller. There's just so much more awesome content on the way, and you don't want to miss it. I'm telling you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with other watch enthusiasts, other people that you think would enjoy this. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.